This local sports report is brought to you by Homewood Suites of Cambridge, Waterloo. Call now to learn more about their sport rate and receive a discount for your accommodations at Homewood Suites, located at 800 Jameson Parkway. Visit their website at cambridgewaterloo.homewoodsuites.com or call 519-651-2888 to take advantage of this special sport rate offer.
It's cool that we're playing at Laurier. At least in my 5 years with the club, we've been at Rogers Field, so we're just trying to see if we can make it work. I think it with the growing awareness in the community of the program, I think now is a good time to make that switch to Laurier. But yeah, we're excited. Obviously, a disappointing season last year. After a championship appearance the year previous to that. So this year the guys are really hungry, because the bulk of the guys that were on the team last year were there for that championship appearance as well. So we know what it takes to get to the championship.
You've got all the pieces.
Yeah.
And you said it and I said it, you underachieved a little bit last year, and sometimes that happens in sports, where, and especially in football, where a few bounces don't go your way or a few ill-timed penalties, you end up with a 4-4 season, but the talent is there to get back to that championship game. And when you get into a one-game situation like you do in football, you never really know what can happen. You said the guys are hungry. What is the mindset? Do you believe that this group has the capability to get back there and ultimately take that next step? Because really, at the end of the day, especially at the beginning of the season, you just got to believe, because you don't know what you've got really till you get out there on Saturday.
Yeah, exactly. And I love the fact that we're playing GTA right off the hop. We lost them in that championship a couple years ago, and they've been on a serious run of dominance. And I like that we're the underdog again, whereas last year people knew what to expect with us. And now around the league, people are doubting us, which it seems like our group of guys are better when we have a chip on our shoulder. And to be the best, you got to beat the best. So it'll be a great opportunity to play GTA. And if we can beat them in game one, it'll send a real message to the rest of the league.
And I think the other thing that you can take away from this game, regardless of the result or whatever way it goes, and we should mention the GTA AllStars, based out of Toronto, are the 4-time defending Northern Football Conference champions. So this is a huge test right off the bat, but I think you guys can view it and look at it and say, you know what, now we know where we need to get to in order to be able to compete with the top dog in the league for the last 4 years. So regardless of the result, I think this is a great learning experience for the rest of the season. And you're right, I think it's great. You get it out of the way right off the bat, but you know what, you just know right away, okay, that's where we got to get to, right? And that's just great at the beginning of the year, as opposed to that happening in week 5 or week 6.
Yeah, ultimately too, it's the way I would best case scenario like the season to play out is that we play them in week 1 and then we play them again at the end of the year, because I'm a firm believer that, like I said earlier, if you want to be the best, you have to beat the best, and they've been the best for the last 4 years. And there was talk about a bunch of their core guys retiring, and I really didn't want that, because I want the opportunity to beat those guys.
What do you like about this team specifically? What are the strengths of this group that we're going to see? The defense has been a staple of the Tri-City Outlaws for the last number of years. Is that the case again this year? What are some of the other things that we're going to see when we get there on Saturday night?
Yeah, definitely. Like the defense has been our core for the last number of years, where we're just a bunch of grinders, right? We're a bunch of misfits.
You're good misfits.
Yeah,
though.
we're great misfits, right? That's why we're the Outlaws, right?
Fair enough.
But we're a bunch of grinders, like the classic, like bring your lunch pail to work kind of thing, right? Where we're just gonna play you tough, we're gonna play you hard. We've got great coaches and Coach Newsom, and actually Daryl Kelly took over as our defensive coordinator, who used to play halfback for us. So that's, again, another thing that I love about this team, is that we grow from within. Everybody on that coaching staff has worn the gold and black at some point.
Tell me a little bit about the program for those who might not be as aware about the Tri-City Outlaws. This is a group that is a little bit older For the most part, you're in your mid to late 20s, or maybe even some of the guys are in their early 30s. And this is about a love of football and a passion for football, and just, you're working guys, like you said, you go to work Monday morning from 9 to 5 or 8 to 4:30 like a lot of other people, but you just love the game and you want to keep playing it until you can't play anymore. It's really great to see you guys out there doing what you do, because you do lay your bodies and your hearts on the line every week when you play for the Tri-City Outlaws.
Yeah. The program, it provides guys that thought their football careers were over that opportunity to continue playing football
At a high level.
At a very high level.
Let's point that out as well.
Yeah, it's not some beer league. It is. They call it semi-pro football. It is an opportunity to continue your football career, and every single guy that plays in this league, not just on our team, but in this league, loves the game of football.
Yeah.
And there's a ton of former CIS guys. There's even a ton, like a couple former CFLers. Yeah, it's just...
Yeah, and there's some names that you would recognize, like you said, from CIS, and one of the kids that I know, obviously really well, just because of his story, is Chris Haas.
Yeah.
And no word of a lie, one of the coolest things that I've seen in a long time is Chris Haas being able to return to play football last year with the Tri-City Outlaws. And Chris Haas is the definition of love football. Passionate about it, heart on his sleeve. He had the unfortunate accident crash and obviously was off for a couple of years. And watching Chris Haas for the Tri-City Outlaws last year make that interception. I don't know if it was against Sarnia or...
I forget. It was at home.
It was at home, yeah. It was at Rogers Field. And there's Chris Haas with his first interception since he played at Jacob Hessler High School. And it was just such a cool moment. And those are the kind of things that you're going to see. There's athleticism out there. Like you said, this isn't beer league football. What's your passion for it? You grew up in football. You went to Southwood Secondary School in Cambridge. You love the game. But every time you and I talk about this, whether it be on air or off air, you bleed black and gold.
Yeah, I do. I literally have the logo tattooed on my arm. And this program, it's so much more than football for a lot of the guys on this team. It is a family atmosphere, and like some of the friendships I've gained by playing for the Outlaws is they're going to be friends for life long after we're done playing football. Guys like Jake Eagers and Derek Mulder, very close friends of mine. Even like the old school guys like Coach Newsom, Lee Becker, who brought me into the club, Gary Hudson. It's just everybody has that common love for the game of football, and the family atmosphere is truly incredible.
And if you still want to play this season, even though the season opener is on Saturday night, like we mentioned, at 7 o'clock at Wilfrid Laurier University at University Stadium, you still have an opportunity to play for the Tri-City Outlaws this season. Explain that. Explain exactly how that works, and if somebody's listening to this or they see it on the 519 Sports Online YouTube channel, tell them how they can find out about playing this year.
Yeah, so it's not too late to register. My first season 5 years ago, I came in for the second game of the year. But if you're interested in playing for the team, we'd love to have you. To get more information, go to our website, tricityoutlaws.com, and hit the registration tab. There's a form there that you can fill out, and then we'll reach out via email, or you can find us on Facebook at the Tri-City Outlaws and shoot us a message on there, and we can get the ball rolling on that. So yeah, it's not too late to join the team.
Can you just speak to Chris Newsom and it's hard. You can't measure what he means to this team, but let's give this man some credit and some deserving love, because without him, he has helped young football players continue to play the game that they love, and without him, quite honest, none of it happens. Simple as that.
Yeah, he is the heartbeat of the Tri-City Outlaws, and he's maintained it. Again, he was there when day one when we started back in 2003, I believe it was, and just the impact that he's had. I remember my first practice with the Tri-City Outlaws. I had no idea what to expect, and the linebacker coach wasn't there, so Coach Newsom came over and stepped up with the linebackers, and I just remember like instantly bought into like I was ready to run through a brick wall for this guy. He's got that charisma. He's a no BS type of guy. He'll give it to you straight every time, whether or not you like it, what's going to come out of his mouth, but you got to respect him for it. And yeah, he's a great friend, a great mentor, a great leader, and he does a heck of a job building the program, and he works his tail off for those 50 guys we have on the team. Luckily, since I've kind of come into the fold behind the scenes helping run the club, it's truly insane how much work he puts in and how much of his personal life he dedicates to the Outlaws.
And has a full-time job.
And has a full-time job and 2 kids.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think when I started 519 Sports Online, these are the kind of stories that I wanted to tell, because I think, in my opinion, Chris Newsom is an unsung hero in our community. And I think that the general public, and just general football fans, this is a football place. We have Laurier, OUA, we have the Waterloo Warriors, we have the Cambridge Lions, we have the Waterloo Predators, we have the Guelphinger Griffins. There is a lot of excellent quality football around here, and I would like to put the Tri-City Outlaws in that same breath and that same conversation as those other teams. And Chris Newsom, to me, is a guy who's an unsung hero, who does a lot of good work for young men in our community. And I believe that people like that deserve to be supported, you know, by 519 Sports and Darren Stevenson and everything else, because I think ultimately, at the end of the day, there's a lot of guys, when they look back in 20 years, when they can't play football anymore, and you're going to say, who's one of the greatest influences in your life? And those guys, including you probably, Dan, you're going to say Chris Newsom.
Yeah, 100%. Newsom, yeah, I've spent, like when I first came into the team, Newsom really took me under his wing, started training me at the gym. We spent long hours together, and yeah, he's been an instrumental part in my life in who I am today. Not only giving me advice on the field, he's an incredible coach, easily one of the best coaches I've been around, and then advice off the field too, and how to conduct yourself as a good person and a good man. It's as at the time an 18, 19-year-old kid when I came into the program. I'm turning 25 this year. It's been like, he's been a key driver in my life for sure, and I'm incredibly thankful for it.
For more highlights, visit our website, 519sportsonline.ca. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.